So you're doing the World Fitness Qualifier?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't signed up, but I'm gonna do it.
You plan on doing it?
Yeah, for sure.
And then when are the workouts? Oh, they just got released.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be 8 p.m. Central, so I think it's 7 for us right now. I think I heard there's only 4. So that's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, there's some, pretty balanced and dense workouts if they're just gonna put out 4. But I kind of like that from the perspective of me doing them.
Looks like there's 1, 2,
3, 4,
3A, and then so 4 scores.
Yeah, 4 scores.
What were you saying? You like
I say from like an athlete perspective, that's like nice, like not having to like record and do so many.
Yeah,
I like that big time.
Yeah.
All right, first one right here.
First one, AMRAP 20 cal row, 20 lateral burpees over the rower, and then 40 shuttle runs. 1 rep is just 25 feet. Is that how I'm reading that?
Yeah, dude, that's so dumb.
The workout, you don't like it?
I mean, I'm not even looking at it as a test of fitness. I'm just like, you're gonna put shuttle runs 40 at a time in a 20-minute AMRAP. That's so boring and just not creative at all.
Yeah,
I hate that.
It's basically just 20. That's a comp train workout.
Dude, that's just so late. I want to know who wrote these up. Do you think Will did it? Will Morad?
Yeah, I think him and probably like a couple other people.
I don't even. So obviously it's very like or just like very aerobic. Mostly monostructural, and then the burpees. Just...
Yeah.
So what do we think? Because like 20 cal row a minute, 20 lateral burpees. We'll say a minute, but even though it'll slow up, I mean, over 20 minutes, it's definitely like a minute and a half.
Do you think like 5.5 rounds?
40 shuttle runs is like 20 regular, basically.
Oh yeah, I guess. So that's gonna be like.
So that's
almost 2 minutes.
Because dude, 10 a minute is like a cooking pace.
Fast.
So I think you honestly through a 20-minute AMRAP, you're gonna be averaging like 3 minutes to do 40. So
yeah.
3, 1,
so that's gonna
4.
be like.
So yeah, like you said, 5 rounds. It's gonna be like 5 to 6 rounds.
I don't even think. Well, I don't even think that honestly. Now that I'm looking at it. Well, they say the tiebreakers after round 3.
Yeah.
Do you think? I don't know. 5 rounds seems like a lot. Because you got a minute.
1 minute.
If you're going really fast, you got a minute,
Easily.
Yeah, a minute, and then like really, like that's really probably one. What do you think? 120, if you're going pretty fast.
On the burpees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a steady pace that you can hold for 20 minutes.
So 120, and then plus at least 2, that puts you at 420.
Yeah, I'm saying you could maybe do the shuttle runs in 2.5 minutes. So that puts you at 350 for that in the burpees. Plus, yeah, it's 5 minutes.
Yeah,
almost 5 minutes. So 4 to 5 rounds. 4.5. I think people will be getting 5.
All right, let's see the second one. I mean, I don't hate that. It's just kind of like boring. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna test aerobic fitness for sure, but it's just boring. It doesn't even make me excited. Like, want to do that. Not that needs to be the goal, but just.
Okay, 15-minute cap. Looks like chipper, 150 double unders, 100-foot double dumbbell, farmers carrying walking lunge with 50s, 45 pull-ups, 120 double unders, 100-foot front rack lunge, 30 chest to bar, 90 double unders, 100-foot double overhead lunge, 15 bar muscle ups.
Once
again, demo weight's 50s for men, and then
they're just not writing up these workouts very aesthetic. Not that that's the most important thing, but I feel like. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're choppy for a sec. Hold on.
How about now?
All right, now you're back. You're back. Yeah. What were you saying?
just first glance, like I just hate the way these workouts look. They're not aesthetic and pleasing at all. So much going on.
Well,
Like,
I
look
think
at this
they wrote
workout.
this one out. I think they wrote it out like kind of awkward, but I think it's really just like 150, 120, 90, and then always 100 foot, and then 45 pull up, 30 chest to bar. I mean, I don't think it's that messy.
Dude.
You think it is?
150, 100, and then 25 foot, and then 45. So that's 4 different numbers already. 120, it's a different number. I mean, it's descending. 100 foot, 25. Okay, so the double unders descend by 30. Pull-ups descend by 15 and go up in skill.
Yeah. And
All
then
right,
the lunge stays the
okay.
same.
It's not terrible, but it just looks bad. Okay. Lunge. So it's kind of similar to, I mean, honestly, in a sense, it's similar to a little bit to 25.2.
Yeah.
Just because you're doing the pull-ups.
Double unders with pull ups and.
Yeah, and then you're doing, lunge as a variation of squatting. I mean, it won't be as hard as thrusters by any means, but all right, I guess that's a good weight.
What do you think?
Overall or time domain wise?
Yeah. Overall.
It's a good test. I think 100 feet, a dumbbell walking lunge. Oh, it's changing the lunges too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a solid test. Like, it's well-rounded.
I like that one. Dude, double dumbbell,
Pretty
100
classic.
feet at the end of that's going to be nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. It's pretty similar to, what was it, quarterfinals the one year?
Yeah, they had the 2 years where it was like the quarterfinals one.
Yeah. Yeah,
I like that one.
It's a good one.
All right, let's go on to the next one. 5 rounds, 7-minute cap, 50-foot handstand walk, 10 deadlift at 315.
25-foot sections. I like that.
That's pretty good. That's
a lot
cool.
of deadlifts at 315, which is good.
50. Whew.
Yeah, that's dense. That's good.
Yeah. That's nasty.
Separate. You got to
that
be
one's
strong.
cool.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then you rest till 9 minutes, so you get a 2-minute mandatory rest. Or
Yep.
I mean, you could get more if you finish before the 5-minute or 7-minute cap, obviously.
What do you think people will be finishing this in?
Let's see, 50-foot handstand walk. Like, you're doing that in 30 seconds is a pretty aggressive pace, but 30 seconds. And 10 deadlifts. People are gonna do it about 5 minutes.
Whew. That's nasty.
I think people will go. I think the top scores will be. I think someone could go low 4s.
I also like that they have the tie break in like all these workouts. Like this one's round 3. I think that's pretty cool because you don't want like a bunch of people at 5:15.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. And then part B, AMRAP 5, 15 wall walk complexes. One complex is a wall walk and a wall facing. And then in the remaining time of the 5-minute AMRAP, max cleans at 225. That one's sick. I like that one. That's cool.
Yeah, I like they doing the wall complex. I don't see that a lot. Not in competition. I'm trying to think of what competition. Rogue did that this year.
Yeah,
for this last Rogue.
I think that's the only one I've seen it at.
Yeah, I feel like I see JR and Taylor like talk about it or like do it in their training a little bit. I think Taylor's done it on Kill Taylor and stuff, but that's pretty good.
So how long do you think 15 wall walk complexes will take?
Dude, that's pretty
I think
rough.
that's like 3.5. Well, for me personally. So
yeah,
probably most of these guys like
down.
Most of these guys, I think probably like 2.5. Like
and it's also like how much is the juice worth the squeeze? Right, smoking your shoulders to go. And not that you need a ton of shoulders for cleans, but just metabolically speaking, like
yeah,
you don't want to completely send the wall walks because, 225 is going to add up quick. That's straight battery testing.
That's cool. And I actually really like this one. Part B's sick.
On guys splits, like 5 wall walks in this last open workout. Like sprinting them, you're between you're like at 20 seconds. So most people are like, 25 probably to 30 seconds on average.
Yeah.
So 5 plus that, it's going to take, I think 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
To 3 minutes.
And then you got 2.5 minutes to do cleans.
2 minutes, yeah. 2.5 minutes to do cleans. I like that one. It's good.
Yeah, that was cool.
I like that one more than the last workout. I might be biased to a barbell, though.
Maybe. You're pretty good at the handstand push-ups, too.
Okay.
So this is the qualify to go to what?
The first one in Indianapolis, which is their first tour.
Oh, okay.
And that's in, when is that again? I think it's before the games.
So then if you make this, then what?
Hold on. Was that it? That's all the qualifiers?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, wow. So just the third workout has 2 parts. So 4. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
I cut you off. My bad.
No, you're good. So what do you think? You think that's enough?
Trying to think glaringly like what they hit. Skill-wise, you're on the rig on that one test, the descending, bar muscle-ups, testing handstand walks, wall complex. So in terms of gymnastics, that's pretty good. Heavy loading, like that 315 deadlift, it's quite a bit. 225 cleans, like in a battery style format where it's like max reps to finish it out, is pretty solid. And then, from an aerobic standpoint, I think that's the goal of that first one. They just made it straight aerobic. So in terms of all the 3 modalities, it's pretty good, I would say, off the top of my head.
No squatting.
I was going to say squatting, dude.
Like actually literally no squatting.
Wow. Obviously they're lunging, but that's missing the mark. You can't not squat.
Yeah.
Lunge is very, it's like leg component, but no squatting. Like you think of someone like Taylor.
Yeah, there's literally no squatting.
Think of someone like Taylor Self. Like he cannot squat at all because his knee's so messed up, but he can still lunge. It's just different.
Yeah.
It's not breaking like that super deep knee flexion.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Also, they got a workout that's like pretty deadlift heavy
and clean, so it's a ton of pull
and lunge, so it's like all posterior. And then they also have a workout has 250 feet of handstand walking in like a short time, and then you go into the wall walk complexes.
Dude, why wouldn't they should have made the squat clean?
Yeah.
They should have made a mandatory squat clean. Because I know my answer, but does 300 feet of double dumbbell lunge variations make up for not any squatting at all?
No.
I don't think it makes up for it by any means.
Yeah, I think even if that was just max rep squat cleans, that would be good enough for the 4 workouts.
Yeah, that's crazy. They didn't put even in like a. Yeah, they should have done a squatting element and probably instead of like just lunging in that second workout, and then I think you make the the clean squat cleans.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me. I don't know how you just don't squat. Do you think conspiracy, because they've kind of mentioned several times how their goal, definitely like at the real life competitions, is they're not necessarily trying to beat the athletes down like crazy.
Yeah, they just want to showcase them a little bit more.
Yeah. So do you think for the qualifiers' sake too, that's a bit of their mindset in terms of not wanting to wreck athletes by having to do obliterate them with tons of squatting. In this case, 0 squatting.
I don't know. I feel like even if you just had max rep squat cleans at the 225, like that's not really obliterating anybody.
Yeah, you're not going to
So
get
I
more
feel
than
like
20.
yeah. So I feel like you could like make that squat and not have a whole lot of problems with like beating them down. Also, they have like what 4 days to do it.
5 maybe.
No. Is it starting today? You can do them.
Started, yeah. The start obviously when the workouts
Yeah,
released.
so you
Yeah,
got 6 days to do them. 6 days to do 3 total things. So I don't think it's. I don't think.
I definitely think they made it like 3 workouts, 4 scores, like, with kind of what I said in mind is that they want people to be able to like everyone to participate that wants to without it completely deterring from their training. You're like, okay, 3 workouts, you can like wrap your head around it. Obviously, they're tough, but you don't have to do 5, 6 scored workouts. It's like 3. You could just get those done in 2 days, probably for a lot of people.
Yeah, but I also think like the way these are written are like going to be pretty damaging. Like 50 deadlifts at 315 that quick, right? Like, and also the lunging that quick and like the volume of pull-ups in such a short time. Like I think that's going to actually leave people pretty beat up.
Yeah, I don't think you're retesting 2 and 3 by any means.
Oh,
Definitely
you're
not
definitely
3.
not retesting these.
No, way too much pulling. And then you wouldn't, even if you did, like if you could be healthy enough to, your nervous system's gonna be fried. Unless you did it on the first day and waited till the last day. And then even with the lunge workout, I mean that's so many lunges. I gotta think that that's their frame of thinking, is that 300 feet is good enough to not have to do squatting, right?
Yeah, I mean maybe that's what they're thinking, but I don't agree. I think there's not enough squatting.
I think the lunges are gonna be worse on the shoulders than anything, because yeah, like your legs are doing a ton of work, but after that they get a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
And then you're pulling up.
the
Your
lunge
double
part is
unders.
almost like passive, but it's just like the fact that you have to hold on grip wise for the farmer carry. Front rack is going to smoke your shoulders, and then the overhead is going to be just obliterate your shoulders as well.
Yeah, dude, like Taylor would smash this. I also think like Justin Medeiros, if he did this, would destroy pretty much
Yep.
everybody
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like so. I almost want to say like you can tell this was programmed by Will.
Just like classic
shoulder heavy,
CrossFit
dude.
kind of bias to just he's kind of like a sprinty, explosive athlete in a sense.
Yeah, just like levers and like so shoulder. Like this, like as I'm looking at it, it's like this is a lot of shoulders, dude.
Yeah. Everything, but yeah. Is there any overhead pressing? There's no overhead, like, I mean, obviously there's the gymnastics with load, though, like weightlifting pressing.
Oh, with load. I mean, you got the overhead lunge, but no actual pressing.
Isometric, you're not pressing overhead. There's no push press, no thruster. Not that it has to. I mean, yeah, what do you think overhead-wise? I mean, do you think the wall complex and the handstand walk is testing a lot of the same thing, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's a lot, but I think it's enough. But I think like it's really going to reward because both of the scored things with actually, yeah, all 3 of the things with scored with any like significant amount of overhead is all like very position dependent. Like it's not a lot of pressing dependent. Like cuz you got the handstand walk, that's pretty positioning dependent. Same with the wall walk complex and same with the overhead lunge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think maybe they could have made one of these some sort of actual overhead press.
Yeah.
But
I think so too.
I don't think it's too bad.
I mean, I think it'll be fine in terms of like qualifying 10 people to go.
Is that what it is? 10 people?
For the main thing. I mean, I know there's tons of different community divisions as well. I'm specifically talking about, just the pro card or whatever.
So what level of guys are going to be doing this?
Pretty high level. I mean, you got to think anybody that's like 20 through 40 at the games is probably going to be doing it, right? You already know you got Colton Mertens, Anoa Kai, you got like Jack Farlow. Those are games guys I can think of. I guarantee like Tudor Magda's going to be doing it.
Adam McAdams.
Yeah. Multi-year semi-athletes.
I don't recognize any of these other names.
A lot of people probably haven't even signed up yet, like myself.
Anoa Kai, Ant Haynes.
He's been games athlete, so it's going to be tough. Like, you're going to have to ball out to qualify.
Brian Spin.
Yeah, buddy, he might get in there.
Oh, Bruno.
Yep, he's legit. Callum
Clements. Oh, yeah.
Callum. He's legit.
Ibarra.
Chris, yep. See what I mean? Like,
wait, Ibarra didn't get a like he didn't already get signed?
No, dude. They only signed 20 athletes. You got to be
crazy.
Chris
bro.
Ibarra wasn't top 20 at the games. You team me.
He wasn't?
Cole Mertens didn't even get signed. Why would Ibarra get signed before Mertens?
What did Ibarra? Didn't he take like 10th this year?
No, what? That's Hatfield. Austin Hatfield took 10th.
Oh, what did Ibarra take?
Bro, I don't know. Somewhere between 25 and 30, I think.
Oh, okay.
As I said, if you're like 20 through 40 at the games, like you're going to be doing this. But even then, they signed guys that are just like big names, like Chandler Smith, Noah Olsen. So they're out. They're not. Those weren't even at the games. And they signed Luca.
I can't believe they signed Noah. Like Noah's sick, but like
that's for publicity. He's had such a big fan base, and he's pretty to look at, and just a big name that's been around forever. So it just helps draw eyeballs and attention.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Is that the signed athletes?
19th. No, this is the games from last year.
Oh, he was 19?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I ranked him lower.
Wait, is BKG WFP?
I'm not sure. I think he might be, which is kind of crazy because he has been around for a minute. Dude, I noticed Cole Greasesaber. I don't think he even did the Open.
Really?
So I wonder if he's hurt. I wouldn't expect him to not do the Open, but if he's planning on just trying to do WFP.
I was surprised that was it Saxon or the other one
that didn't make it?
That didn't sign up for the Open this year.
I think that's Saxon, but he didn't. I feel like from like a career or injury thing. He's working like for the WFP is like on part of their like staff.
Oh.
I don't know. I know him and Will are fairly close. They've been around each other for a long time. Yeah, BKG. It's crazy.
All right.
Who do you think for sure is going to qualify? Like, obviously, Colton's going to for sure qualify.
Colton. I don't know.
Chris Ibarra didn't do too hot in the Open. Not that means everything, but he might not have even. I think Farlow will.
Farlow will. I think Bruno will.
You think?
I think. Oh, dude, Bruno's freaking crazy, dude.
You're biased.
I think he's getting
Brazilians.
Yeah, I might be biased because I'm always on his Instagram, but I think
at the games, right?
No, he was.
He was this last year?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He actually is really legit when it comes to qualifiers too. Like I've always a lot of Palooza qualifiers. He's always smashes them.
26th.
Okay.
At the games.
Yeah, I wonder like guys like Luke Parker if he's gonna do it.
I mean, Bruno beat Guy, I think, in 2 workouts and semis last year.
Yeah, but come on, we've already been over this.
Oh, we've been over Guy.
Come on, we don't even need to exhaust that competition.
What are you talking about, bro? He almost qualified for semis.
Bro just dropped out of the Open.
Let's see who else. Ibarra, I think will.
Yeah, maybe. I
No,
don't know. Dude, this is gonna be tough. Because I think
it's
you're gonna
10.
get guys like Luke Parker. I think you're gonna get guys like Jack Rosema who are gonna do it.
Oh,
You
Rosema's
got
beast,
other
dude.
high level semi guys like John Wood who've been around forever, Traven Benton, Will Bennett. If those names ring a bell, I mean those are guys. Max Krieg. I think you're gonna get some like top level semi-final athletes that are gonna be throwing their hat in the mix. It's not gonna be easy qualifier.
Kaiki.
Yeah. I still hate the first workout. Doing all those shuttle runs. That's so boring.
Yeah. Max Krieg's up there.
There you go.
Nick Matthew,
Oh yeah, that's another one. I think he'll qualify for sure.
your boss. Nick Matthew,
My boss.
your boss.
What was that supposed to mean?
Because he beat you at a crash.
Yeah, I guess.
That's crazy, bro.
Why is that crazy? He's been to the games twice. I have not
I
been
know.
to the games.
Everybody was hating on him at Crash. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I don't know why they had beef with him. I think
Tristan Harrison.
Ty Jenkins has been he had a phenomenal open.
I
You know what
keep
I'm talking
hearing
about?
that name, but I've never I don't.
He's
I don't know
the
this
one
name.
that won the teen games 3 times too, dude. He's legit. He was at
Oh.
Crash. Oh, he was at Crash 2 years ago. He only got held out of the semi. He got dinged way bad last year with the step up, so he didn't even make it the semi, or else he would have. He's legit though. He smoked me in the open. We know the open super thorough test of fitness. So
Yeah, of course. I got some memes I'm about to make about the Open.
okay,
They're gonna be good.
excited to see him. Well,
right.
yeah, we'll see how the WFP goes. I don't know when I'm starting, but Friday maybe.
How do you think you'll do? I think you could be up there.
I don't know. The last workout I think is good for me. I'm not a great deadlifter, but 50. I mean, I can belt up and rip it. I'll be interested to see how the wall complex goes. I don't know. I think it'll come down to how I can manage doing on the first one. With all the burpees and shuttle runs, just like attacking it appropriately. Because I feel like there's definitely an element of pacing, but also it's be pretty aggressive. I don't know, because I think that'll be a lot of separation.
Sucks for you that there's no squatting.
Squatting helps me for sure.
But I think you do pretty good. How did you do on that quarterfinals one with all the clean and jerks?
The ascending? That's always a good workout for me. It was just clean and jerks, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember my placement, but I did pretty well on it.
Okay.
I don't even remember. Yeah, I don't know. I got to get my head right going into this, though, because, I guess, with anything, if I'm going to do it, I got to be, all in to do it, or else it's not worth it, because the margins for error slim to none, so.
Yeah.
Can't just kind of be
actually. I wasn't expecting to see that many big names on the leaderboard for it, to be honest.
Yeah, man. It's going to be. Think about it. You're going to qualify. It's basically a rogue level field. It's the top 20 athletes in the world that you're competing against.
Bro, is it crazy that all you have to have is just some money and then you can just make it happen?
For what, as an athlete?
No, they just threw this thing together within the last 4 months, and now all the biggest names are doing it.
Yeah, but we're talking FU money, 9-figure million, hundreds of millions money. That you can throw.
That's
you can throw it together easily. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it even pans out, viewership, attendance.
Do you think the people that are funding this would have enough money to buy CrossFit?
You would think. I've heard they're worth hundreds of millions.
And why didn't they? Do they think it's just so damaged, but rebranded?
I don't know.
Maybe they are going to.
Maybe they're confident. But this thing
that
is
they can
gonna
get it
take
going.
over. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
start from scratch.
What are you? I'm a World Fitness Projector.
You are, you mean?
No, like now instead of saying I'm a CrossFitter, I'm gonna have to say I'm a
Oh.
World Fitness Projector.
I'm a WFPer. Yeah.
Fear.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they can still just say I'm a functional fitness athlete. I hate that word, dude.
I despise the word
I do
functional
functional
fitness, bro.
fitness. Even when I was
Oh,
looking, I bought a pair of grips today, and it was like talking about the grips and their use. And it was saying they're used for, functional movements, fitness, or whatever. And I'm just like, why can't you just say either gymnastics or like CrossFit? It's just
dude,
so
it's
annoying.
it's so cringe, bro.
I mean, I understand, I guess, for some like companies and stuff, like from like a trademark perspective, and like
Yeah,
I guess legally they might not be allowed to, but I don't know.
I want to show you something.
All right.
It's gonna take me a second to find it, so you can keep yapping if you want.
Did we ever see when the WFP when it is Indiana? I think it's before the games. I want to say
Let me look.
I want to say it's June. Wow, that seems crazy though. The end of June, or maybe it's not till after the games. Maybe it's August, like late August, and then there's another one October, November, and then the finals like end of December.
Event 1. When did they announce it?
I mean, I feel like they got to have it front and center somewhere. What's that on the cities? Does it say? Click on that one with like the buildings.
Indianapolis?
Yeah, and that's the first one. Tour event 1. Does it say the date?
No.
Interesting.
Does it say the date?
I didn't see
May
it.
11th? May 9th through 11th?
May. May. Wow, I'm way off. So it's in May.
You want to see how crazy Ben Bergeron has gone?
Dude, I
Dude is
do, but
literally
I'm
off his
sad, dude.
rocker.
I used to be such a big Ben Bergeron fan. When I first got into CrossFit, I got put on his podcast. What was his podcast called? The same thing as the book he wrote. I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was like some.
Dude, I was on the Ben Bergeron train. I listened to all of his podcasts. I thought he was just the wisest guy.
Did you like
ever.
how he put dirt on Katrin David's daughter while she was doing
I was talking
push-ups?
about before that time. Like I was. That was the start of his downfall.
That was his downfall.
That was the start. That was his arc, his villain arc.
All right, I don't know if I'm at the right. I don't know if I'm at the right spot, but
Oh, this stuff.
your boy Ben Bergeron wants to start talking about functional movements.
We don't see that movement in real life.
Complete training, baby.
Okay, you ready?
Walking on your hands over scaling for the rest. We also say that, hey, walking on your hands over ramps maybe isn't the most functional thing. We say ring muscle ups where you learn a false grip and then trace your chest and whip your ponytail through. We don't see that movement in real life. So we don't see people walking on their hands. We don't see people getting up and through rings. So we're going to choose things that really have.
Bro, so many like arguments I have to this. I don't even know where to start.
It's like one of those takes that's like so insane that you don't even know how to come back to it. Like come back at it.
It's just like his argument just doesn't stand on anything. It's just irrelevant. It's like people aren't even arguing. I don't think anybody is. No one's trying to say that you're gonna walk on your hands in real life and go up over ramps, or that you need to do ring muscle ups, right? It's the same argument, like, especially for me, I work in the sports world, right? And there's people with such low IQs that think the only thing you need to do to get better at your sport is play the sport, right? And it's the whole conversation of that's why you do strength and conditioning, is because the only way to get better at something is not just doing that something. So to get better at life, we don't just need to only do the things we're going to do in life or mimic those things, right? We can still like chase fitness, and do skills that, you know, make us work on things that are going to increase our longevity of life and like make them better and like have fun with it too. That's a big part of CrossFit being people miss. It's like, no, it's not necessary, but a part of it is fun because there's like a sport and skill element brought into it. And it's the chase of trying to pursue something, you know, that's a goal and a skill. What do you think?
Yeah. No, it's just a pretty bad take.
I mean, what are your thoughts
Like-
on it? Like,
Well, I just always like people love to use like the word functional and like they have no idea what they're talking. Like I feel like people have no idea what they're talking about. Like functional doesn't mean like what you see in life.
yeah, mimicking the
I feel like
exact
that-
same things you do in life.
Yeah, if functional training was like for me, if I was like training to get better at life, like I was only doing movements that I like mimic the things I do in my day to day, most of my training would be like sitting in a chair and like getting used to sitting in a chair because that's what I
Right.
do for work.
Right.
So like, is that functional? Like I need to just go to the gym and like practice sitting in a chair, like get my back and stuff used to it.
That's basically the argument because it's you should only do,
Because you don't see people getting up and over rings in real life,
right.
so you shouldn't do them in the gym.
But it's like the narrow-minded view or like narrow scope view. Whereas if you take the bigger view, it's like what type of physical characteristics and like traits do trying to do a ring muscle up give me, right? If you take it back as general and broad as you can, it's giving you good pulling strength. It's giving you good body awareness, right? Giving you pressing strength. All those physical characteristics you could draw from it. And noting the psychological aspect to it of you just trying to achieve something worth like pushing and challenging yourself and like what that does for you psychologically and your confidence, you know, and like things like that. That's a whole different conversation. It's like we don't just do things for the sake of having direct transfer in our everyday life. That's the silliest argument ever.
Yeah, stupid. So do you know off the top of your head like how CrossFit defines functional? Because you know they say functional movements.
Moving large distances moving large loads long distances quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how you could be someone like Bergeron that's like been in the CrossFit world for so long and like still like misconstrue functional after this many years.
Well, he knows it. He knows that definition, and he obviously once believed it. But it's just his own personal bias and like emotions are getting caught up in all these things, and he's just wanting to put his own take on it and just allow, you know, trying to come up with something that's
different,
newer and better. He's just he wants to reinvent the wheel, but he has no idea that he's just sounding like a dork.
Yeah, it's pretty goofy.
Bro, what training? This complete program is nothing new, and it's just CrossFit,
like dumbed down,
jumbled up, and like some word salad, and like dumbed down to try to like make it sound something that's reinvented and new. And it's CrossFit without high skills and less intensity and less volume.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I have a question for you. What do you think about the word intensity? Because I feel like this gets like misconstrued a lot. Like people will be like, you don't need to be at high intensity every day. Do you think, like, what do you think about that? Do you think that you should be at high intensity every day? And then I also hear people say like, you need low intensity days, blah, blah, blah. What do you think?
Well, one big thing, have you taken your L1?
Yeah.
One big thing they talk about is relative intensity, right? Relative to where you're at. And people, when you think of intensity, like people always just think like fast, fast, fast. But I mean, you also have to think of intensity in terms of the loading that you do, especially within weight. So, I mean, just black and white right there. I think it depends like what type of intensity you're trying to attack. And yeah, I don't think every day should be high intensity. I know Adrian talks about this a lot because lots of times like training needs to be just training, not necessarily racing. I think people think intensity has to mean racing, but I do think intensity is very nuanced, especially in terms of like how fast you're going, right? Just like aggressive, trying to like reach like a certain metabolic peak. But I also think intensity refers to like your movement economy and like how efficient you're being with movement and like going through the full ranges of motion.
Or what type of movement you're doing, right? Like if you're really focusing on the press of your burpee, or like getting a certain kind of press or something like that, and that's your focus for the day, that's like a form of intensity,
right?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. Really just like isolating your focus to like specific movements, and kind of like, I think what's involved with it is what's the word I'm thinking of, doing the common things uncommonly well. What's that word? I'm drawing a blank. Virtuosity, right? I feel like that's a big part of intensity. And then it's obviously like loading on the barbell. Like there might be those cardio bunnies in your gym who are always just go, 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 right? And the intensity they need to focus on is like moving a heavier load consistently, right? Like battery style testing, like heavy percentage of a 1 rep max, and repeating that over and over, even though they may only be doing one clean every 10 seconds. But doing that like grace, like that's intensity for that person, relative intensity.
I think, and I want to make like a video on this eventually, but I think one problem that a lot of people have is they only understand intensity as like that Fran Echo Bike sprint feeling.
Right.
Like everyone thinks intensity is only like that like glycolytic like sprint type of feeling. Yep. Whereas I think there's like a lot of different forms of intensity. Like even if you've ever done like even just like an hour zone 2 on the bike, like when you get off and your legs are just like slightly achy or like a little bit like feel a little bit wobbly, like that is a different form of intensity from like the Fran feeling. Yeah. And then those are also different forms of intensity from like JT. Do you know the workout JT?
That's the pressing one, right?
Yeah, it's 21-15-9, like ring dip, handstand push-up, and push-up, I think. Like those are like if you had all three of those back to back, you could all attack them at 100% intensity, but like the intensity is a different feeling because like Fran is one metabolic pathway, certain muscles, and then you can have 100% intensity the next day doing JT, which is going to be different muscles, and it's going to be like very low, like glycolytic and aerobically demanding. And then the next day you have like a 2-hour bike ride. That's going to be completely like you can attack all of those with 100% intensity every day, and they're going to be completely different intensities.
Yeah.
So like I feel like a lot of people they're like glycolytic. Like when they think intensity, it's just like that Fran feeling.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, that's definitely, I think, is still probably the most valuable in terms of succeeding at CrossFit, is touching on that a higher percentage of time. But that does get a lot of already gets a lot of attention, and then gets too much attention, because still in the affiliate setting, at least, I would say that a larger percentage of people do need to touch on that Fran type intensity more than they do. That's just kind of anecdotal from at least the affiliate that I'm at, but also from what you said, I agree. I think with like different like metabolic pathways that you're using, there's way different types of intensities, right? If I'm doing like a 1 hour C2 bike ride, right, my intensity for that is going to be staying at my threshold at my zone 3 to 4 pace, right? And then just being cooked after, right? I didn't sprint and then just fall off, right? Intensity for that was riding at my threshold for that entire hour. So I feel like intensity is kind of just matching the stimulus of whatever workout is written, and like matching that stimulus.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like people get obsessed with the like whole body, like metabolic kind of output. Whereas if there's like a million other types of workouts you could do that you're still going to touch a little bit on that like metabolic pathway, but there might be working something different, like that JT, where it's like you're working upper body pressing in 3 different planes, and that's what the workout is.
Right.
So
one thing you have to keep in mind too, though, is depending on the caliber or like the capacity of athletes, they're simply people who cannot reach very good intensity because they have terrible muscular endurance, right? that much redundancy in those types of movements over and over. Like, it's so hard for them to reach intensity. They can barely hang on to big sets. They're breaking everything up so much. And then their movement turns to crap quickly too, because they just don't have that type of capacity. So it's like, for low skill and like a lot of the demographic, pairing complementary movements like push and pull, things like that, are very valuable, because it allows them to, maintain better movement quality, right? Because they do get breaks, but yet they may still move in, right? So it's like, movement redundancy is 100% a different way of reaching intensity, and I agree with you. But I would say it's not as for the masses as, other simplified workouts, and things that are more complementary movement patterns. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still think, like, if I programmed for like an affiliate, I would do like a decent amount of redundancy, because I do think that's something that like obviously obviously it doesn't transfer as much. I think, like, the base of the pyramid's metabolic conditioning, but I do think that the redundancy thing is pretty important. Especially just for like making your body kind of like bulletproof. Like, I think that's one thing that gets missed a lot in like just the always doing complementary stuff, is you kind of miss that like local kind of like muscular. And I think like this actually does transfer a lot to sports too. Like, if you've done spend a lot of time in the gym, like training, that like just say some redundancy with like your calves or something like that. I think if you get out on a basketball court or tennis or something like that, your calves are a lot more resistant to like a fatigue caused injury.
Yeah.
So like if you do if you program a workout for people that's like running and double unders, that's going to be fatigue, because it's both like that little bounding, like high volume, like high cycle rate stuff. But I think if you like do that enough and in training, then like I said, when you get out on doing volleyball or basketball or something, your calves are going to be more resistant to something like an injury with your Achilles or something like that, because you've built up that like resistance to the What do you think?
I hear what you're saying. I still just I push back on basic demographic. Not that I don't program redundancy, because I program for the affiliate Wasatch, right? I do program redundancy, one, because I personally like it and I think it's challenging, but I wouldn't say it's a much lesser percentage than complementary. I think it always will be. I just think the types of people that you get in there, like their capacity is just not there to do that at a very high level that often, and they're just gonna get
like the redundancy.
Yeah, they're just gonna gain more fitness more regularly, not doing super redundant movement patterns.
Well, they're going to gain more metabolic fitness, but they're not going to gain.
You can still gain muscular endurance without doing redundant movements back to back, right? It's like I can do high sets of one specific movement, right? You can force people to hold on for bigger sets at maybe lighter percentages, and that's still building local muscular endurance, right? You don't have to you don't have to pair a bunch of movements that are hitting the same muscle groups.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
So what percentage would you say, like, how often would you say you program like a redundant workout?
Like where it's like very redundant in terms of like JT, like aggressively redundant? Or are we talking like in terms of doing pairing like
like how often would you do an aggressively redundant one, and then how often would you do something like maybe like pull-ups with handstand push-ups and something else in like a triplet, where that's kind of redundant because it's both like overhead stuff,
it's like shoulders. I'm doing that weekly. Yeah. Like, I'm definitely not like, I touch shoulder, so I can't do another shoulder movement. I mean, that's push and pull all day. That's every week. I would say, like, in terms of like direct interference, I'm trying to think of like a workout I've programmed. I think of something maybe like I've done like a especially like something with grip. I think is such a low. That's probably one of the biggest things I do from an interference perspective, because such a low barrier of entry in terms of capacity, because grip is like usually doesn't take skill. It's just kind of like, oh, can I hold on to the bar, or like doing like farmer carry, right? Like doing a set of toes the bar, and then going into like a farmer carry walk. Like that's a very low barrier of entry that people can like push themselves, and really only limitation is like mental more than anything. Obviously your grip will go out, but there's just not a lot of stake in if you can't do it. Like if you drop the weights on a farmer carry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say like really redundant, maybe like every 2 weeks, like where I'm doing like a pretty redundant, but like where that's the main priority is like I'm like saying, hey, stimulus here is to try to see how well they can like pace and efficiently, you know, have good stamina throughout this workout to,
Yeah.
you know,
Because I know you and Adrian, programs that for you guys sometimes. Like it'll be something like thrusters and wall balls as a couplet, where it's like different but kind of the same.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, high level athletes, absolutely. I mean, anybody trying to compete at any bit of like a upper level should be doing that like crazy. Muscular endurance, dude. I'd say that's like one of the biggest separations I've seen in myself as an athlete as I've progressed, is like the muscular endurance that I've gained, and like being able to go from like I had a workout like last week that was descending from it was push-ups and handstand walk. It was nasty. It was like 25. It was like 25 push-ups, 100-foot handstand walk, 15 push-ups, 100-foot handstand walk, 10 push-ups, 50, something like that, or whatever. And I had to like rest a couple minutes, and then I had to do it again. And so my upper body was just smoked, dude. Shoulders, pecs, grip, just wrecked.
So why do you think that that's like appropriate for you, but not someone at the affiliate?
Because once again, from a capacity standpoint, my rests aren't going to be as long, right? I've built up tolerance and capacity to be able to not rest as long before I can start again.
But then doesn't that just come down to scaling?
I've gained enough capacity and experience that my movement quality can return quickly, and I can maintain good movement quality. Whereas someone with like low training age and not a lot of tolerance and muscular endurance built up, their movement quality turns bad quickly, and so they don't move well through full ranges of motion. One, from like an injury perspective, and then two, they just start moving crappy, not hitting the standards. Range of motion gets cut. Biggest thing.
But then wouldn't that just come down to scaling, like for that specific athlete?
I mean, I feel like I would need more specific. Yeah, I mean that would probably be the first level to like combat it. For sure.
Like if you're saying that the difference between you and like a regular athlete is that you can like continue to handstand walk with your push-ups, then like for a more scaled athlete, couldn't you do something like elevated push-ups on a box and like a scaled wall walk or bear crawls?
Yeah.
And get like a similar stimulus that you're getting, but for them?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be the way to do it for sure.
But do you think that that's still less valuable for that like the local muscular endurance is still less valuable for that person?
Less valuable than metabolic fitness, because from a pyramid perspective, it is. Not that I think it has no value by any means, but just from a priority thing, yes, that's why I don't prioritize that. Another thing that I think about is
I think like those local muscular endurance is like a good break from like it's good on the days where you need a break from the metabolic like output.
Yeah, I agree. What's the phrase I'm trying to think of? Real quick, I gotta go in like 30 seconds. Man, sorry, I'm just drawing a blank.
What was it about?
It's like CrossFit. They teach you at your like CrossFit methodology level 1 stuff. That's
Is it the needs of the Olympic athlete and a grandma?
No, not that. Like, just like you improving in one area, like athletes,
improves
like
in everything else.
Yeah, if they improve metabolically, like overall, and like that's gonna have carryover, like in lots of other areas, and like you can gain fitness in certain areas, and like especially in a metabolic way.
Yeah.
And that's going to increase your ability capacity for your muscular endurance, because you can get more oxygen to, the muscle tissue that you're exercising with. I mean, that's just like exercise physiology 101, right? Like the more oxygen I can get to my cells within my muscles that are working, like the more work I can produce, the more capacity I have. I gotta go quick. I gotta coach the kid.
Okay. Thanks, bro.
Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, bye. All right, I think I had one more thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, did we go over the ownership? We did not. So I didn't see this, but this is on the Reddit. Ownership group buy is the title. And this looks like a Instagram story from somebody named Sean Johnson. Dear CrossFit community, we are in talks to bring together an ownership group to buy what we think is an incredible organization and system that has changed our lives and the lives of many others for the better. We've been to affiliates across the country and across the world and think that supporting these 11,000+ affiliate or business owners is the missing piece to tapping into the full potential of what this wonderful community has to offer, and is the best way to support the millions of athletes involved in the movement. More to come. Before I go into the comments, my thought on a group buy is it's really messy because we've seen how conflicting different people have, how conflicting ideas different people have of what CrossFit HQ is and how to go about doing what they need to do. There's some people that are like really into the games. There's some people that are really into the affiliates. There's some people that are really into the L1. There's some people that are really into the media. And I think having a group would kind of make it messy. I think that's actually one of the issues that we're running into now is we've got like we've got Don Fall, the CEO, mixed with the different ideas that the owners, the whatever group they're called, the owners of CrossFit, and we've just got like a bunch of conflicting ideas. And I'm maybe slightly concerned that if there's a group that bought it, that we would run into an issue with that. But who knows? It probably can't get any worse than it already is. Anyway, I'm gonna go read some of these comments. I'd love to see good come of this, but all I say now is I really hope they lowball the heck. Okay. This has zero chance of working out. I agree with this. I think it's just so messy. I've said this a few times, but I'm 90% sure that CrossFit, the company, is not worth what you could buy it for. So I think it's probably it sold for $200 million the first time. I think right now it'd probably sell for I have no idea, but 180 to 240, something like that. And honestly, I think if you buy it for 240 or even 180, the amount of time it would take to make back the 180 you bought it for is crazy. I think even if you bought it for 180, to make your 180 back, you'd probably have to hold on to it for 10 plus years at its current rate. So the problem with, one of the things I think we're running into with CrossFit right now is it sold for more than it's worth. And so now it's just become a commodity that people are trading like a stock. You buy it in hopes that the stock will go up and then you sell it. You're not actually buying it with intent to make money from it as a business. You're buying it as a commodity. Anyway, this has zero chance of working out. I think so. It's so messy. There's a hedge fund, private equity that is also has a bid in, and their main idea is to give affiliates an ownership stake. Could actually make affiliation worth something. I again think that's, I don't know exactly how that would work, but the way to make affiliation worth something is to provide more value to the affiliates. That's all you have to do. Provide value to the affiliates. What do we think it'll sell for? About $350. I would wager about 100 million, which would mean 100 million loss for Berkshire. I don't think it's going to be a loss. Here's why. They increased the price to be an affiliate. I'm sure they've fixed the crap out of the books. They're selling it right after the open. And so let's say you go from $3,000 as the affiliate cost to $4,500. Even if you lose 10%, you're now making. So if you didn't lose anybody, you're now making 50% more money. If you lose a third of your client, which I don't think they're going to lose a third, they're still making the same amount. So honestly, like, this is the first real year where they've now had a year where the $4,500 affiliate cost has been in. And so now their books are going to look really good. They cut costs out of the CrossFit Games last year. And I think they've probably wrapped up all of the lawsuit. They wrapped up the lawsuit with the National Strength and Conditioning Association, probably got a fat check from that. And now they've just got so much money. They've cooked the books. They're going to look so good. Everybody's going to want to buy it for more than it's worth. It's insane, the parallels between CrossFit HQ and regular CrossFit affiliates. I've known a handful of gyms that have been purchased by members after periods of poor performance, bad leadership, shitty programming. The open wasn't fun. Owners stopped caring, and on and on. This whole thing is smoke and mirrors. Yeah, it's so bad. Literally, that's actually a good point. Like, CrossFit HQ has become what most CrossFit gyms are, where it's just changing hands and people are, oh, I have passion for it. Now I don't. Oh, I have passion for it. Now I don't. That's what every affiliate owner does. Too many hands in the cookie jar kind of deal, right? Who will make decisions and how long those decisions will take? Everybody's going to say what they want and kind of deal, but that's me speculating. That's what I said too. All right. Anyway, I think that's all I got for today. We got a little bit unhinged. Me and Drake were talking about some random stuff, but I think it was better than yesterday. Not as good as some of the ones we've had, but we'll keep doing it. As far as my main channel, I've got a new video coming out very soon. I'm in the final process. I'm in the final stages of editing it. Hopefully I'll finish editing it tomorrow, and then I'm going to ask a couple people to review it. Like, I'll probably ask, I don't know, I was thinking Souza and Tyler Watkins. So I might ask them to review it, and then I'm going to post it. And then I got another one that's going to come out quick too, because I've been rolling. So other than that, I'm done. So peace.